Yes, sir. I'm excited about today. We got a lot of great information. Things are moving very quickly in the real estate market, and so we're anxious to share the news.
Welcome to Real Estate Exposed.
Versus what $500,000 is going to get you here in Charlotte County.
All things real estate in the Charlotte and Sarasota County markets.
Yes, sir. At that point, I'll have to actually put pants on and not shorts.
We got Matt Patterson and Scott Newcomb on the other end of this connection.
It's so crucial to have, the correct marketing so your home stands out.
Talking about new construction and new construction statistics. And I myself, as a casual observer, have been noticing a lot of new building going on and a lot of new building being advertised by local agents. So I know that the builders are going to you guys to help sell their inventory. We're going to be talking about selling investment properties today, and what to do, what the future might hold for those who want to own investment properties. And then something that's kind of interesting, we've got some questions from the listeners that have accumulated over the past few weeks that both Scott and Matt are going to try to answer, plus the top picks of the week, the listings of the week that are exciting Matt and Scott and everybody else on the Patterson team. All right, gentlemen, let's dive right in. New construction. I know last week you even, amongst those top listings of the week, had a new construction home. Are you seeing more and more?
Yes, sir. We are seeing more. Obviously not enough to catch up with the demand.
Mm-hmm.
We did talk about new construction a bit last week. Today we want to go a little deeper. We've got some stats for you on how many permits have been pulled. Again, we keep getting the questions every week. My goodness, is this everywhere? My neighbor, everywhere I drive, I see new homes going up. So there's just a lot of questions and excitement around it. So we want to go through those numbers, and also talk a bit about the material. Scott and I were talking this morning, and what were you telling me, Scott?
We've been reaching out to the builders because we've seen things obviously are changing right now between COVID, the fires that have been on the West Coast throughout the year, production falling short on a lot of materials. So we did some research on what builders have been running into and some of the stats that have come across just real quickly. I may touch upon those. Just in the last 6 months, in the last 180 days, builders have seen an increase in lumber prices upwards of 125%. That's an astounding rate of increase, and it's something that really needs to be taken in consideration as people are building homes is how quickly those numbers have increased. On top of that, you've got concrete prices, which we know, 95% of the homes here are concrete block, and you got to have driveways and you got to have slabs. So concrete is a major component. That's up by 25% in the last 6 months.
Oh, no.
Yeah, to a my mason, and he was telling me just the other day that sadly they're getting held up on new starts as far as waiting on block.
Okay.
So it's not only the monetary, it's timing. So you've got to have a lot of communication with whoever your builder is to know, and of course they're going to help you the best they can. It's a ever moving, changing situation for them, but they are able to help you plan better. Because whether you're in a you've sold your home and you're in a rental, or you're going to be putting yours on the market or already have, or have it under contract, you've got a buyer coming into that home. So it's definitely changed things. Now, as far as permits, which tells us how many new construction single family homes year over year. In 2016-17, Todd, 1,083 single family permits were issued in Charlotte County. 2018 or 17-18, 1,607. Ahead in 2019 and 20, 2234, 2,234.
Wow.
And doing the math, just, I know we're only a couple months into the year, but with what, we've already seen 850 pulled. If it stays on this trend, it's going to be somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 new single family homes coming out of the ground this year.
I think it's important that we look at those numbers. I mean, 2017, we pulled roughly 1,000 permits. Versus 2020, we pulled almost 2,300 permits. Now, that's been a natural increase due to a strong economy and people moving to the area, the retirees. But now we have to look at the fact that we've had a massive increase from what I'm seeing in the amount of people wanting to build homes. And I've got another statistic to share on that.
Yeah, because as we talked before, Todd, they can't, they're having trouble finding what they desire or what fits their family's needs.
The resale inventory remains low, but the numbers that we just shared with you didn't reflect that. These new numbers are going to be exacerbated by it.
Okay, so let's think about that. 3,000 homes, Scott. Where are you going to put them?
Well, that's where I wanted to get to, because that's something that's been coming across my desk for the last 30 days has been the incredible increase in the amount of vacant lots that we're putting under contract. Obviously, you're building homes, you got to have some place to put it. So what we're seeing with the people looking to build custom homes is they are out there buying lots because they're not finding those resales that fit their needs. And with the low inventory, we can imagine why. So I pulled some quick numbers on that.
Well, and they're in all stages, is another thing Scott and I are seeing. Some, they've met with a builder. They're going to break ground, in 30, 60 days or start pulling permits. Others do not know. They are, they're planning ahead, and they could, some are 4 years, 5 years out. But it just shows you what kind of what they're seeing, and they don't want to miss out. I mean, location. So they're we're seeing a lot of this land come off the market.
And that's really the fascinating thing. So Matt gave numbers for permits from really 2017 through 2020. We saw an increase of 100% in those permits over those 4 years. Well, during that same 4-year time frame, the amount of vacant lots that were being sold, being put into, taken off the market with new buyers, that remained relatively the same. It was somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 homes every 6 months, and that stayed pretty steady. Now, I've polled the most recent sales of vacant land in the last 6 months for Charlotte County. In the last 6 months in Charlotte County, we've closed on 3,400 pieces of property, vacant. Now,
that's incredible.
And you compare that to the previous 6 months, Todd, which was 2,100. That's an increase of 61%.
Wow.
Now, what that's telling us is we're seeing these increase in permits, but now look at what's happening with the lots. How much more is that going to gain ground? How many more new construction homes and how many more permits are we going to be talking about when we're sitting here next year? That's the amazing thing.
And what's it do to the price?
Yeah, it truly boggles the mind, but is understandable. And I'm sure the pandemic plays into it as well with so many. And we talked about this a little bit last week, wanting to relocate from urban areas and big cities to places like Southwest Florida. So the demand is as high as it can possibly be, I would imagine.
Well, we don't know where, but yes, it's definitely continually increasing.
And that's a layperson's perspective on my side of it. I understand. I understand professionally. You guys break the numbers down and crunch the numbers, so it's a more accurate way of putting it. So
that's what our clients need from us.
Exactly.
Information.
Exactly. So with regard to buttoning up our conversation on new construction, because we are up against the clock a little bit here, I guess the idea to pass along is, if you're looking to build, you better grab up a lot here, especially if you want waterfront. Wouldn't you say it's time to make your move?
I think regardless, whether it's waterfront, acreage, a double lot, standard lot, corner lot, regardless, I would definitely get moving on it.
A lot.
We have to go to break, but I've got a couple other things on it when we come back too.
Okay, good. And I know a lot of builders have a certain amount of property, lots that they hold on to, but those aren't always the most desirable lots, so you might want to keep your eyes open and check in with the Patterson Group because you guys have got the lots for sale, I'm sure.
We do.
We do. We have land in all increments of size.
All right. Stand by, gentlemen. We'll be right back after we take this quick time out to continue that part of the conversation and talk about investment properties on the way. This is Real Estate Exposed on News Radio WCCF.
Life can change in an instant. Then comes more change. Even more change. And some really big change. But no matter what happens, we'll help you make sure that she can always come home. The Patterson Group. Real service, real people, real estate.
Talking about new construction, had a few more follow-up points I know you gentlemen wanted to make, so please do.
Well, yeah, the big one that keeps coming up, and again, the purpose of this show is to keep everyone informed, and because I know not everyone is in the real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that keeps coming up that I feel like it's important to discuss is not only as we talk about increasing from in 5 years from 1,000 permits pulled to possibly 3,000 this year, is not only the cost of property going up, but it is the price going up on materials, on labor. I know, many of the contractors I talk to, that is a problem right now. Skilled tradesmen, as far as having enough of them to go around with the demand. And which naturally, what that's going to do is increase, the price all the way around. Because now, and we've seen it, like Scott and I were saying, in lumber, in concrete, in lighting fixtures, fans, doors, windows, they're back ordered, every area of it. So if you take a $500,000 house and all of a sudden it goes up 10%, as far as to build that, that's $50,000.
Substantial.
That's huge.
And Matt brought it up in the first segment. That's about the planning, right? Because if we're talking about an increase in lumber over the last 6 months of 125%, and we know that the typical time from this signing of that contract with the builder to the time you get handed the keys and you get a certificate of occupancy on the home can be anywhere from 10 to 12 months. So you're going to experience, the potential is you could experience those increases. And so the planning and working with your builder and making sure that your $500,000 house is not going to cost you $575.
That's right.
By the time you move into it is essential. And we can help you through that.
Well, and I promise, we have great business relationships and friendships with some of the builders that they don't like these conversations either, Todd. They really hate this. In regards to them taking care of their clients.
Yes.
It's made it very tough on them.
Well, they're going to get the blame in that situation, even though circumstances are beyond their control. And I imagine there's a certain amount of lag time, too, between events and the increase in prices or the lack of supplies. For example, the severe winter weather that most of the country's been experiencing, I imagine that's going to just exacerbate these situations.
Absolutely, and especially with being, as far as COVID, the pandemic, naturally, that's where the first shortages that, started coming up. Some was the tariffs and then COVID. The mills were shut down, so they're claiming, that's why the lumber shortage and a delay, and it just so on and so forth. And then, like you said, now you've got winter weather. I don't see it changing for some time.
Right.
So that's what we've been getting on the new construction. We just wanted to share that. The other thing that I've been getting a lot of as this market is up, we have a lot of investors that own multiple homes that, depending on, what stage they are at as far as with their portfolio, some of them are choosing to sell, 2, 3 of them, some of them, their entire portfolio.
Right.
And this question keeps coming up, whether someone has one home or they have 20. After I sell it, what do I do with the money?
Yeah, because you're facing potential capital gains and all kinds of ramifications. So, yeah.
Well, sure. Which we, there's remedies or things that you can do in that regard. As far as, we would of course put them with a real estate attorney. They could set up a 1031 exchange and not to go real deep into that. I'd rather have an attorney on to do that. But they can actually 1031 exchange that money to change that tax burden. But nobody likes 0.5% or 0.75% on your money to put it in the bank. Again, these are the conversations we're having. So what do you do with the money?
It's a question that Matt and I have been speaking about for a couple of weeks here, but what we're seeing is, we know we've got a stock market that overall that has been strong, however volatile. Everyone I talk to is kind of the question: Are we in a bubble? Is this going to burst?
Yeah.
What's going on? From what we're seeing,
why do you and
our
Todd
end,
have to keep saying that?
because I want to speak to it.
Notice, gentlemen, I have refrained from the B word all day today.
Well, I want to just circle back.
Scott's buying dinner.
I circle back. Everything we're seeing is a strong and natural demand that's pushing these things up. Yes, some of the things have been, a little bit blown up by the lumber shortages and the increase in prices. But overall, this is being driven by consumers wanting to buy lots who want to build homes.
Okay.
Or buying existing homes.
Buying existing homes. Absolutely. So the economy, from what I'm seeing, if you're looking at those economic indicators, is moving up. It's a strong economy, but we've also seen that there can be a downturn in the stock market rather quick. So we're seeing a lot of our clients putting it into raw materials, putting it into commodities, oil, gold, lumber, things of that nature.
Okay,
Right.
True. Where I go with it, Todd, and it's kind of a broad answer here, but I think it really comes down to what is your ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
What is your time horizon? When do these things need to happen? Every single person's scenario, family, finances are different. So there is no one size fits all. So that's the conversations that we have when the client comes in and we sit down is, okay, what's our ultimate goal? And, what kind of time are we looking at? Are you wanting, is someone at a stage where they're wanting to buy and hold? After they sell, or some of my residential investors are now transferring, some of that over to commercial.
Okay.
So there's all different avenues to go. Again, I'm not an accountant, but I can tell you this, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, if you just have one home and it's your primary, and it's homesteaded, well, when you mention capital gains, that is not pertained.
Right.
Right. So, but for the investors, this is definitely something that they're all looking at.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something, I think, in previous shows that I wanted to kind of touch base on. Isn't most of what we're seeing today, and this being sort of a natural demand in the market, is the topic I'm referring to. Aren't we seeing that folks are buying homes that they're actually planning on living in, making their primary home? We aren't seeing as much in the way of investing in speculation, for sure.
You are absolutely right. That is one of the largest differences of the boom, back 05, 06, 07.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had a lot of speculation, a lot of spec homes, a lot of investors. And this is different. This is a lot of inline users, and purchasing to live in.
That's the difference, and that's worth pointing out twice. Gentlemen, I think we are about ready to take another break, and when we come back, this is going to be an interesting segment. I can't wait to hear what kind of questions the listeners are coming up with, because oftentimes they're way more informative than anything that I can come up with, and we'll turn our attention to the listeners' focus on the other side of this break. Let's take a quick time out on Real Estate Exposed at News Radio WCCF.
With inventory at an all-time low and some listings selling the same day they hit the market, it may have you considering new construction. And I have the keys to your new home right here. The benefits of new construction are choosing your location, designing the interior and exterior of your home, and choosing whether or not you're going to be on a waterfront location or maybe a private setting. Another plus of new construction is choosing your interior features, such as flooring, ceiling options, and your lighting. Options for kitchens and new constructions can seem endless. You can choose your cabinetry color, countertops, and even your appliances to suit your taste. Outdoor living is the reason people move to Southwest Florida. With new construction, you have options such as outdoor kitchens, pools, and dock space. So if you're looking for new construction in Southwest Florida, I can guide you every step of the way. I look forward to working with you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this is going to be an interesting segment because we have some questions generated by the listeners themselves, and I imagine this might be a combination of email and phone calls, and that also makes me want to give out the contact information, so somewhere along the line, let's make sure we give out phone numbers and that kind of thing as well. What kind of questions, what's on people's minds today?
Well, let's start with the first one that we get, and we get this on a regular basis.
Let's start with the phone number so they can get a hold of us. I mean,
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Call us.
All
Let's
right.
have lunch.
So you can reach us 7 days a week at 941-621-8600. Of course, any of the information that we discussed, including our listings, is also on our website, realestateexposed.com. Realestateexposed.com. We'd be happy to hear from you. But again, if you need to call us anytime.
And if there's something that you want to expose, something you want to talk about, something, a question, a comment, please reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah, any topic that might be of interest to you, the listener, it's going to be of interest to us, believe me.
Yeah, and an interest to many others that that haven't had the opportunity to call in or email in. So
sure.
All right. So speaking of a question of interest to many others, let's start with the one that Matt, you and I get on a regular basis, and that is: should I make repairs to my house before selling? And if so, how do I know which repairs or what improvements I make will make more money on the sale? So what do I need to do to get this home ready to maximize my profits?
Great question. This goes into whether, everyone's watched HGTV, there's a ton of flipping shows and all of that. And
they make it look so doggone easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, in 30 minutes.
That's right. You don't see the crew of 200 behind you.
Right.
Well, that, and they narrowed down houses, from 60, but, they show you 3. But anyways. Okay, should I make repairs to my house? And if so, yes and no. It depends on what we are talking about. And repairs versus updating. There are certain areas, everyone knows, that kitchen bathrooms are very important and a focal point of a house as far as the kitchen. It depends on the repairs or updating, Todd. It depends on what the return on investment is going to be. Meaning, if you're going to, put $1,000 in and get $1,000 back, to the second part of that question, am I going to make money? Well, that you very well, in that scenario, you're not making money, but you may be selling the house faster.
Right.
And it's going to appeal to many more. This is something that we do a lot of, and the best thing to do is have us come out, go through it, because it's a case-by-case scenario.
Absolutely.
And we will lay a plan out for you.
Yeah.
Whether you list your home or not, we will help you with that.
And that's the key. There's so many different types of homes of different types of ages, and some people have kept their kitchens and bathrooms up to speed. Some people haven't. Common question I get: should I take this carpet out and put hardwood flooring in? Well, that's a challenging one because we don't necessarily want to pick out a flooring for a new buyer who may have different tastes. However, there are times when something like that is going to be advantageous to the price of the home. But I think it's important, Matt, that we bring up the things that we focus on essentially at first are what are the things that could cause problems with a potential loan or insurance problem.
Absolutely.
Yes.
My roof's 15 years old, or my electric box is not going to qualify for insurance.
Well, and a lot of times they're not aware of that.
Right.
We mentioned before about electric panels. We've got a couple of brands that a majority of insurance companies will not insure. Therefore, you cannot get the loan. What's confusing is if John and Sally have lived in that home for 15 years and they've had insurance the entire time, to them, there's nothing wrong with that electric panel.
Right.
It doesn't need to be changed. But what happens is whenever that home goes under contract and they do the inspection report and the insurance company looks into it, if it has one of those boxes, they will not give new insurance. They will not bind insurance for a new buyer. Therefore, it does have to be changed. to get insurance.
It does, but let's lay that out there that,
Okay.
you know, people come to us in all different states of financial capabilities.
Mhm.
So you've got a home to sell and your roof is old and it may not get insurance, or your electric panel needs to be updated. Don't let that prevent you from calling us. There's ways to get through that.
That's
Even
right.
if you don't have the ability to make the changes to the electrical box yourself, we can get through that. We can still sell your home for top dollar. We're just going to go about it a slightly different way versus a person who has the ability to put that new roof on before we go on the market. So it really is
Okay.
a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, and we have, and again, we're all about being solution based, Todd.
Yes.
But with that, let's talk about the roof. So if you talk, I was talking to an appraiser a couple weeks ago, and because I wanted their opinion on, you know, if what they allow on an appraisal for a new roof versus an older roof. Meaning, if you put $12,000 into a new roof on an appraisal, they're going to allow you half that.
Really?
That's right.
On the roof itself.
Really?
That rule with
Correct.
pools, but the roof.
Same thing with AC.
Yeah.
And not necessarily, you know, and I don't want to throw a blanket statement. It's exactly 50%, but that was just rounding it off. That is how their formula works. So, you know, I've had a lot of conversations over the years, and with you know, let's say Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and they say, well, you know, I think I'm going to put this $15,000 roof on.
Mhm.
Can I increase the price $15,000? Well, we could do anything we want, but you know, no, I that is not a guarantee I can get you $15,000 more for the sale of that home. So
Well,
Yeah.
that's an interesting statistic because even in my experience, I had thought that they credited more for roofs and things like that. I always knew that pools had a pretty big discount. You took a haircut with those.
Yes.
Value, but we're even seeing that with the roofs now.
And there's a difference between repairs and updating too, and it might be something where you say, well, kitchens and bathrooms, they basically sell the home, and my kitchens and bathrooms are looking a little long in the tooth, but it may not be advisable to spend money on updating, and that's where you guys know right away.
we do. All right. So the next question: can I take my favorite light fixtures with me once the house sells? Short answer: absolutely. But let's go a step further. If you know what I like to do is, you know, when I'm, you know, in a listing meeting and we walk through the home and we look at everything, that is one question I'm going to ask you. You know, is there anything that is not personal property that is attached that you want to exclude from the sale?
Mhm.
And if it's lighting or fan, something of that nature, I get a lot of times an antique chandelier that was great, you know,
Yes.
grandma, my mother. My advice is we change it out prior to listing it.
Okay.
Reason being is a lot of people need to see visually what is ultimately going to be there, and that, you know, and that way it takes it off of the table. You know, so, but yes, you can exclude anything as long as it's disclosed and it's something that is agreed upon in the contract.
Right, but like you're saying, don't show it if you don't have to with that light fixture or whatever in place.
And that was my advice for my family as well when I sold their home.
I know I looked at a home once, and this was back when electronic and Wi-Fi thermostats just had hit the market, and there was a little Post-it note below the Nest thermostat that said "does not included with the sale of the house" or something to that effect.
That's right. Does not convey. A lot of people want to take them with them.
Yep.
And it is a permanent fixture. It is attached.
Yes.
With excluding that and that it does not convey,
Yes.
it would have to stay.
Absolutely.
It's always easier to have the property photographed in the state that it's going to be transferred over to the new buyer.
Right.
It avoids complications and just makes things easier.
Exactly. Okay. What else is on the list of questions from listeners?
Question 3. What is your list to price ratio?
List to price ratio.
Yeah, meaning so
Meaning-
based on what is the sale price compared to the actual price that it was listed at. And I can tell you that we've all seen that really change in the last few months as these inventories have gotten shorter. I'd say we're experiencing anywhere from getting 99% to over 100% of what the asking price is in conditions like this.
That is our team statistics.
Yeah.
Now the market itself is 97 to 98%.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
But that's still an impressive number market wide.
Yes, sir.
It
Yes,
is.
sir.
Again, showing a strong real estate market, because when we were coming out of the crisis in 2010, certainly that number was considerably different. We had homes selling for 85% of what they were asking for because that market was on a downturn.
Right. Okay. What else?
The next one I've got is kind of a favorite of mine is what is some advice you can give me as a first-time home buyer?
Oh,
And
yes.
in past shows, I always like to kind of reach out and shout out to those first-time home buyers that are sitting in that rental property, not sure what to do, intimidated by the process. And that advice is give us a call.
Get a professional.
Yeah, do not prejudge what you think you can qualify or what you can afford, because there are a lot of wonderful programs out there that make it possible for people to purchase that first home, whether it be the bond programs that exist to help you with the down payment and the low interest rates. There's just so many options to take a look at these days.
And it's ever changing, Todd. As far as what Scott's saying, the programs, it's always changing and evolving. I can tell you, I got the latest interest rates this morning on a 30-year conventional, 2.75.
My goodness.
2.75, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's I would imagine near record territory.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as that question, get a professional, educate, and let us help take some of the, if you have the fear, and it's overwhelming you, we can help, ease that by explaining the process and helping you every step of the way.
Yeah, and it does seem daunting. I mean, I can remember being a first-time home buyer, a year or two ago, back when I was in my youth. And I can tell you this, it does seem very intimidating. And all I wanted was somebody to sort of hold my hand through the process. But I know that that's something you're very good at doing.
Yeah, it is. And we have a large percentage of our clients are those first-time home buyers that have questions from the get-go. And our buyer specialists are excellent at walking them through the process, making sure they're properly connected with the right lender to help them, and make sure that there are no surprises along the way.
Well, and one point, it just dawned on me here that when we say first-time home buyer, naturally we go to you've never bought a home before, but it's also for the one that's only bought one home or it's been 15 years, because of the way things have evolved and things have changed. They need that exact same service as well.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, because the process has changed so much in the last 20 years.
Right.
Our contracts are
true.
that I've been in the business, our contracts are 3-page long.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. They have gotten longer.
With all kinds of different, the flood maps have changed since I've been in the business.
Right.
Everything.
The process has changed tremendously.
So, not, even if you've bought and sold 3 houses in the past, but it's been some time, there's a lot of different programs and a lot of things to go through with them.
Okay. I think we got time for one more listener question, guys. Can we squeeze one in?
Sure. All right, let's do this one. I have multiple properties that I'm considering selling. Well, let's stop there. Call me if you have.
Okay. And again, the phone number is.
That's right, 941-621-8600.
Mm-hmm.
How can I prepare my home for selling, and should I stage my home or show it empty?
Good question.
That really goes back to the question we started off
one.
with, right? It's about calling us and getting us in the door to take a look at what things need to be done to prepare for selling. Is it a matter of getting a fresh coat of paint on the outside, or do we need to do some extensive landscaping work to make the curb appeal ready? And then the staging, again, is a case-by-case basis. It is a service that we provide, and a very popular one.
Well, statistically, I mean, the numbers show that you're going to sell it faster and for more money.
That's right.
That's what I was wondering, if there's something to back that up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I am definitely pro staging, and let me say, staging can, everybody, or a lot of people think, oh, it has to be an empty home to stage it. Absolutely not. Many of the homes we stage are lived in, they have furniture in them, and they need to be spiced up, if you will.
Yeah.
Decluttered, freshened up, and to have that home ready for a buyer's first impression.
Well, and it's not just staging. It's not just about bringing a couch in and plopping it in the middle of the floor. We have an interior decorator.
Plop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. An interior decorator.
That's a decorating term, by the way, Matt.
Yes, it is.
It's a very technical
Yeah,
term.
it's very technical.
But that decorator comes in and takes a look at, okay, what colors do we need to pull out from the flooring, from the countertops to really make things pop? It's all about giving that wonderful first impression on those professional photographs that we provide and videos and 3D tours that make that home stand out, because as we've talked about before, 99% of people are going to find you on their smartphones first.
Right.
And those photos have to capture the interest, and that's where the staging and interior design really plays a tremendous role.
And I think it may be worth pointing out also that if staging is something that everybody agrees is going to help sell the home, that's not necessarily an expense I don't have to reach in my pocket, in other words, to make that happen.
That's right. There's no upfront cost. Depending on the level of staging would depend on whether there's a cost at all in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a case by case, but it is a service that we added a few years ago, and it has been phenomenal. It's something that's really helped our clients and helped us. So as far as helping achieve their goals and selling the home in the time frame they want and the price point they want.
Correct.
I see we're up against the clock, actually a little behind schedule here, and I do want to leave time for some of the hot listings of the week, so let's take our final time out here. You're listening to Real Estate Exposed on News Radio WCCF.
Your house is not just a house. It's a home. It's where you took your first swing with your new clubs and where you talked to your kids about boating for the first time. It's where you went shopping and took long walks in the park. It's where you went to the beach and collected seashells. It's where you planned your Friday date night and it was only Monday. It's where you raised your kids and your grandchildren. So now it's your time to trust us, because your house is not just a house. It's a home.
Now let's get back to Matt and Scott with some of the listings, the hot listings of the week.
Yeah, this is the best part. And actually, during the break, Matt and I
I think it's all great, Todd.
A little bias.
Who is going to announce what? Because this is always an exciting time. I'm going to start. I'm not going to give him the opportunity to start. I'm going to roll with the one I've got.
Okay.
I've got an amazing property, 9492 Applin Circle, Port Charlotte, 33981. Now, this one just went on the market a few days ago. I can't count the amount of phone calls that we've already received on it. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, private pool, on a canal, 2008, almost 2,800 square feet.
Nice.
That's an amazing home. Now, we're putting that on the market, or we have it on the market, at $479. Given the way this home is finished and laid out, the location, it checks so many boxes for so many people. And in a market like this, a waterfront home with a pool that's a 2008, it is going to move quickly. So don't mess around. 9492 Applin Circle. Call us today. We'll get you in to take a look at it, because it's a beautiful one.
And obviously, waterfront is what a lot of folks, especially from out of state, are coming here to buy. So if that is of interest to you, take advantage.
What's better than having your boat in the backyard already on the water and not on a trailer? Nothing.
Exactly.
So it's really a blessing.
Now, is this one up on the website as of yet?
Somebody else's boat.
I
got that. I heard that.
I don't have to pay for it.
Is this up on realestateexposed.com now?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes, this property's already active. So yes, they can definitely find it there, or as always, give us a call. I have got 2 condos. I'm going to start with a favorite of mine this week that we listed. It is not on the site yet. It will be going active in a couple days, and I promise you this condo will not last, I do not believe, more than 2 days.
Okay.
And the reason being, it is the way it's furnished out. It's being offered turnkey furnished.
Mm-hmm.
For those who do not quite understand, that is pots, pans, dishes, linens, everything that you see. The only thing excluded in this one is the artwork.
Okay.
It has recently been furnished with in excess of $30,000 worth of furnishings, top of the line appliances, and completely updated painting, flooring, everything. It is absolutely gorgeous. Nice view of the pool area. This one's at 5119 Melbourne Street, which is just when you're coming out of Punta Gorda, just over the bridge into Port Charlotte, right there on the right. So great, you can walk to many things, and it's going on the market at $230,000, Todd.
Okay.
It's got 2 parking spaces that are as far as covered, which is very important. It is just a magnificent unit.
And how many beds and baths are we having that one?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I got so excited about it.
It's okay.
3-bedroom. 2.5 baths.
Nice sized, so you've got room for the guests who inevitably are going to want to come visit.
Absolutely. This condo to me is going to be ideal. The current owner lets friends and family, come and use it, and I just see it perfect for either investment if someone's wanting to rent it out and then use it when they need it. Snowbird, turn the key and leave, or I could move in there tomorrow and be perfectly happy year round.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of things going for it.
That's the first one. What else do we have?
Okay, I've got one in 33955 Punta Gorda address, 7538 Legastrum in Punta Gorda.
Oh, it's Burnstore Meadows, right?
Burnstore Meadows. Along that beautiful Burnstore corridor where we know that they're doing the expansion and there's several developments going out there commercially. $350,000 will get you this beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom private pool home that's sitting on an oversized lot. The home was built in 92. I went by it the other day. It's a beautiful corner lot. It's got great finishes, and at that price point, you're getting so much in a location that's developing quickly, and you've got some wonderful neighbors.
Yeah, vaulted ceilings. The garage. We know a lot of coming from up north. A lot of the garages here, you say it's a 2-car, they say, "Oh, really?" This one's set up as like a 2.5.
I was just going to say, I've seen this one. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got room in there to have your 2 cars plus your toys. Just a very, very nice home.
Yeah.
And at that price point too, you can't build for that, as we were talking about earlier, new construction for that kind of money.
That's right.
No, it's a great neighborhood, a great place to be.
Okay, so on to my next one. This is a condo in Deep Creek. It's at 26485 Rampart Boulevard. Definitely, if you're looking for value, this property is going to be listed at $100,000.
Oh my!
Bedroom. That's right. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I was actually just in it this morning, opening the shutters up, getting ready for our photographer. Tile in all the main areas, and ground floor unit, lanai, and it has the accordion hurricane shutters. So if this is a second home, I opened it up in literally 5 minutes. You could close this up in 5 minutes and be secure from the storms. And again, ground floor, which is very desirable at $100,000.
And we talk every week about how convenient to everything Deep Creek is and how desirable as a community it is.
Yeah, I've lived there since 2008, and whether you're staying local for dinner or you're jumping, or running to Siesta Key Beach or Fort Myers Beach, it's
easy
quick
access to the
everywhere.
interstate.
Yeah.
You're on interstate and you can be up at Sarasota and at UTC Mall inside of 35 minutes. Or access to any of the airports, and that's one of the real blessings about being out there.
And speaking of exciting about Deep Creek, I don't know if you guys know this, but the sign just went up. We're getting a Beef O'Brady's.
Oh, is that right?
Chicken wings for football Sunday is all I'm saying.
I know you were already excited about the Popeyes that was out
I'm
there,
very,
now you'll never leave home.
That's right.
We'll have to go see him out
All
there.
right, are you going next or me?
No, it's my turn.
Okay.
I've got one. 225 San Carlos Avenue, Northport. Now, for all those people that are missing out on properties because they don't hear about them in time, I'm taking that excuse away. This went on the market yesterday. This one's listed at $299,900 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, 1,800 square feet in Northport. Again, this price point gets digested so quick. This one's brand new to the market, and it just is not going to last that long.
Okay, you said San Carlos?
Yes, 225 San Carlos Avenue.
And this being a new listing, is this on the website also?
It is. It
Okay.
just went up. It's still the ink is still wet on the paper that I printed out.
And the realestateexposed.com website is the one we're referring to here, realestateexposed.com. All right. I think we have time for one more quick one.
Okay. All right. I've got one here for you, Todd. Now, this one's not going to be on the market for probably another week.
Okay.
If you've ever wanted the beach out your back door, this is it. Literally, the deck on the back of this home is on Manasota Key Beach.
Nice.
Yes.
On the beach.
On the
It
beach.
is
On the beach.
You walk out your door over your beautiful, expansive patio, and you're right there on it.
That's
Okay.
right. So, very large home, 3,468 square feet under air, 5,000 square feet total. It was built in 1978, but it has an effective year built of 2001.
What does that mean?
Well, what it means is that the home has had many, many updates that, as far as the county looks at it, to be in the condition of a 2000.
Starting to run out of time, gentlemen. How about a price on that one?
Well, I will tell you this. It's going to be, we don't have the exact price on it yet. It's going to be around 2.8, 2.9 million.
Okay, call this number for more information, 941-621-8600. That's 621-8600. Matt and Scott, talk to you next week. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
It's so crucial to have, the correct marketing so your home stands out.
The various